Hey, okay, welcome back to the Caribou Data Science channel. This is an impromptu session. Uh, I just got interested in taking another look at the TidyQuant package. Oh, okay, well, let's switch back over to here. There we go. All right, so we are live. Uh, this is going to be a learn as we go session. uh, if you have questions about stock investment stuff, you've come to the wrong spot. Okay, let me just say that right off the bat. To get that right off the bat, you've come to the wrong spot. This isn't really this isn't about stock investing at this point. This is about taking a look at a package and just pulling down some quick stock data. Okay. So let's take a quick look at this little 2-minute video here.
Next, the TidyQuant workflow begins with TQ-Get for getting data. We can use TQ-Get to get the historical stock prices for a single stock, Netflix, or we can scale TQ-Get to retrieve historical stock prices for the entire list of approximately 500 stocks in the S&P 500.
Holy smoke.
This retrieves 1.2 million records for 10 years of history for every stock.
So we go over here. We got TidyQuant.
We can scale TQ-Get to retrieve
Right? Get stock prices. Now this is actually a this is actually a tidyverse version of what's called QuantMod. Okay, so my guess is the syntax and stuff probably is the same. I mean, the commands are probably the same. Okay, so let me do this. So let's see if this works. Let's come back over to the video over here.
historical stock prices for the entire list of approximately 500 stocks in the S&P 500. This retrieves 1.2 million records for 10 years of history for every stock. TQ transmute and TQ mutate modify financial data using quantmod/xts functions. We can see which functions are available using TQ transmute fun options. We'll demo TQ transmute. We can get the monthly returns using TQ transmute and applying monthly return from the quantmod package. Congratulations! You've just converted the entire S&P 500 10-year stock history into monthly percentage returns. That's it for this short tutorial on TidyQuant. You can
Now see, it's acting as if it's still running, and we're not really doing anything, okay? And that wasn't a very helpful plot, was it? Wide range of stock options. Yeah, see, I don't understand why this is taking so long to run. Okay, to me, it's taking too long to run. All right. Okay. So I was trying to mess around with what's called positron, which is supposedly a next generation IDE. I'm not sure if it's actually supposed to replace RStudio or not, but I can tell you one thing. It wouldn't be taking this much time to put on stock data using RStudio. Okay? Let's just go and drop this. All right? Come over here. New project. Existing directory. Let's run this. Let's run this. Where's T2 get? Okay. Yeah, so I don't know why. And here's our stock. Alright, so let's go over here and let's say and because this is now a good old-fashioned you see, it ran right away here. I don't know what's the trouble with a positron is, unless I'm just not having the something set up right in the yeah. So because it is a because it creates a tibble, you can use it directly with so it actually reached a high back in 2015, but it has begun to climb back up here, okay? Let's try this. Now, dividends, of course, would be quarterly. Let's just put this right here also then. Better yet, let's do something a little funky. Since this is tidyverse, right? That means we should be able to do a pipe here. let's do a column. So it's interesting, so since back over here, about, what, 2005, right? It's had a big climb up through 2015, 2020. Now we could say it dropped back down during the pandemic before climbing back up to above 30. Interesting. Let's take a look at this. So there's 3, 6, 10. 2, 5, 8. So interesting. Hey Alexa, how you doing, my friend? I'm using some more programming, as you can tell. I'm using a package called TidyQuant, which is a stock analysis package. Now I'm looking at the dividend history for a stock which I have an interest in, have some money invested in. Okay, so each column here should be a quarter. All right. So you can see the quarterly dividend. So this would be 30 cents. This is cents. So from, say, about 2015, from 2015, okay, from 2006, okay, through what the last quarter probably. Let's see what the last quarter we got here is. So last quarter we have reported is August the 8th. Okay, so that's 8. That's 2 months ago, 2 months ago. All right. So it took a really long climb up here ever since 2008. All right. Then it had a dip. Then it leveled off. Then it took a big dip here, but this should have been probably this have been around. This have been around the what am I looking for? Around the COVID-19. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look here back here about between 2020. Yeah. You can see for the first up until 2021, up until August of August of 2020, the dividend was $30 a share. Okay. Then in 2011-05, it started to dip. But then in 2022, it began to climb again. Okay. So that dip could have been part of the of what? It could have been part of has something to do with could have had something to do with COVID-19. Okay. And here's you can see they had a big run up here lead from 2010 to 2015. A big drop down here. Okay, then it recovered back here. Now you can see it's starting to climb again. It started to climb again in about 2021. But again, around this point here, this has been COVID-19, 20 to 2022. So, okay, let's try something here. So what's going on with you, my friend? Are you from Brazil by chance? Let me do this anyway. Okay, let's change this. Let's close this for right now. Let's do this. What we're going to do is we're going to install plotting so we can do a interactive plot. But let's take a look over here, see what else we got. Fred economic data. Now I know you can do a whole bunch more plots with that than this we got right here. But you can see there, if you're into stock analysis, quantitative analysis, for instance, financial analysis, the TidyQuant package is a really nice place to look. And I know you can do really fancy plots. I just don't see them listed here right now. Okay. Okay. So do you play the market at all, my friend? So what you do here is, what the heck is cow plot? We'll look at that. We'll come back and maybe look at that one later on. Now what I'm doing, I'm also using Quattro, which makes it very easy to create documents, whether a Word doc or HTML doc or PDF doc. You can even create PowerPoint presentations using Quattro, okay? Let's come up here. So what you do, you create an object, then you say G, all right? Oh. So what it is, but I now have an interactive plot, okay? And you can also do things, you can also like zoom in, okay? Or let's see, zoom out. that's a little bit far out there, I think. Let's come back in a little bit. Okay. So we go over here now, and let's do this. Let's just zoom in to this last big part over here, okay? So you can see it peaked at $35 a share on June the 17th, 2015. And it dropped down to $4. It's $4.70. Wow. In 2016. Okay. Climbed back up to $19.30. Dipped down. Now, my dad got in. I'm not really sure where my dad got. My dad got in probably around in here someplace. Okay. So let's go over here. Let's do the same thing over here. Okay. Because this is a plot of our dividend. Okay. So you can see over here on 8/18, or on in the first part of 2018, it was at 30 cents. But it's back over here. All right. Back in 2006, it was as low. The share price, the dividend was as low as 1 cent. 1 cent. That's. Well, no, I'm not. Well, 1 cent, right? 5 cents. Now over here in 2020, so remember, COVID-19 hit in November 2020. It dropped down to 15, but now it's up to 32 cents. All right. So what else can we find out here with this? So let's come over here. What I'm looking for is this right here. All right. So let's go over here. Okay, so this is your main plotting function, because the advantage of TidyQuant is that it's a built on top of Tidyverse, which includes ggplot2, of course. All right, so these are all these are all the plots you can create using the TidyQuant package. Let's try one over here. Let's try one chart. See, right there it is. Okay, so let's try this again. Uh-oh, it doesn't like it, does it? Okay. We're probably going to have to drop this for right now. And put something right there. Oh, okay, so this isn't going to work with dividends. All right. That's interesting. All right, let's just use the there. Okay. Now, let's come up here then. Let's get rid of this. Let's actually do a couple different plots here, shall we? Let's do a GMB bands, if we can. Oh. Okay. What was that? Something just went ding ding. Okay, so in order to do this, you should have to okay. Let's just do this. Let's just try this. ET. Okay, so we got some Bollinger Bands here, right? Huh? Let's try this. You can see the Bollinger Bands here, right? Hey, thanks so much for the kind words. Good luck with your studies, okay? Be sure to click that bell icon. That way you know whenever I go live again. Of course, subscribe and click the like button for me. And share the channel with your fellow students. Again, Alex, thanks so much for stopping by. And give me a little bit of your background. You know, stop by anytime. I'm going to try to create a candle chart next, okay? Okay, let's just try something a little funky here, okay? Let's try this. You wonder why it has closed twice, don't you? Alright. Okay, let's come over here now. See, it's interesting. All to do is create a bar plot, a line plot, and ignore everything else. Yeah. Okay, so we can't really use a ggplot thing with that, can we? All right. So what do we got here? 48 minutes. Huh. So let's save image. Let's do this. Let's see. Let's do this. With that, my dear friends,